And welcome. Our top story at this hour: amid heightened tensions, leaders of the world's two largest economies, United States and China, are set to meet virtually. The hotly anticipated summit is expected to be one of the most extensive meetings under the Biden administration. Washington is hopeful the talks between Joe Biden and Xi Jinping bring in some stability in ties. From the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic to China's expanding nuclear arsenal, Washington and Beijing have been sparring on several issues. U.S. officials believe direct engagement with Xi Jinping is the best way to prevent ties from spiraling towards a conflict. Chinese officials say the leaders would exchange views on bilateral relations and issues of common interests in the summit, while a senior U.S. official said Biden will make clear that he welcomes stiff competition with China, but he doesn't want conflict. Last week, Biden and Xi Jinping outlined competing visions at the meetings at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or the APEC Forum. Biden stressed on U.S. commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific, while Xi warned against a return to Cold War tensions. Friction between the countries persists across a range of issues, including trade, technology, Xinjiang, and especially Taiwan. Let's take you through the most contentious issues between the two world leaders. Relations between the world's two largest economies have recently deteriorated, in particular over Taiwan. In the face of Chinese aggression, Washington has repeatedly signaled its support for Taiwan. China claims that the island as its own and has not ruled out using force to bring it under its control. Beijing has been concerned by Washington's move to deepen ties with Taiwan. Xi Jinping is expected to use his first virtual meeting with Biden to warn America to step back on the Taiwan issue. Both sides have indicated they will not give ground on the flashpoint issue. Ahead of the meeting, China has warned the U.S. not to send wrong signals to support Taiwan's independence. In a phone conversation with Blinken, senior Chinese diplomat Wang Yi told U.S. Secretary of State that, and I quote, any connivance and support of the Taiwan's independence forces undermines peace across the Taiwan Strait and would only boomerang in the end. U.S. officials are also increasingly concerned about China's rapidly expanding nuclear arsenal. China has denounced a nuclear-powered submarines pact that Biden struck with Britain and Australia this year. Washington's expanding cooperation with Quad grouping is also troubling China. On trade, China is running far behind on its promises in a deal signed in 2020. The Phase 1 deal was inked to boost the purchase of U.S. goods by $200 billion. Now, Beijing has not fully met promises to improve the intellectual property protection. Beijing wants tariffs set by former President Donald Trump lifted. It argues that lifting of tariffs could help both sides by easing inflation and boosting employment. There is a tech war between the two nations that continues to smolder. Top Chinese companies like Huawei, drone maker DJI, top chip maker SMIC, and surveillance firm Hikvision are still on a U.S. national security blacklist. Another issue that could come up in the talks is the upcoming Winter Olympics in Beijing. U.S. lawmakers have demanded a diplomatic boycott of the Games over China's clampdowns in Hong Kong and Xinjiang. U.S. has repeatedly pulled up China for committing genocide against Uyghurs and other minority Muslims. This could potentially put Biden in a difficult position if Xi Jinping were to invite him to the Games. Another flashpoint is the origin of the pandemic. Previous U.S. administration grilled Beijing over the outbreak of COVID-19. Though a U.S. intelligence review under Biden turned up no firm conclusions on the source of the virus. Yet some U.S. intelligence blames a leak from a laboratory in China. Biden has asked Beijing to cooperate more with international investigations, but China has rejected such cases.